Good morning, my friends. Happy Thursday. I don't know about you, but there's something refreshing about February because I don't listen. I know every month is a gift, but I don't love me some January. I don't love it ever. It's a hard month. The Christmas joy and excitement of the holidays is over, and now you got to get back to normal life. And the Christmas tree comes down, and you look at your room and you're like, what the heck? How am I going to live without a tree? Everything's gloomy outside. The grass is crunchy because it's either dry or frozen. It's just, January is not my favorite month of the year, and it lasts approximately 381 days, but it's over. And February comes, and it's love month, and we get to see hearts and chocolates all over the place, and we're on our way to spring, right? It's going to be spring soon. Like, we're getting there. It's the countdown. There's something good about February, specifically February 1st, today. All right. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in. We are done with Job, and we're going to move on to Exodus. All right, the account, this is a note at the beginning that says the account in Exodus is traditionally thought to have begun approximately 300 years after Joseph's death. Two dates are listed throughout: the traditional earlier date and alternative later date. I probably won't read the dates. All right, the Israelites in Egypt, Exodus 1 through 22. These are the names of the sons of Israel, that is, Jacob, who moved to Egypt with their father, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. In all, Jacob had 70 descendants in Egypt, including Joseph, who was already there. In time, Joseph and all of his brothers died, ending that entire generation. But their descendants, the Israelites, had many children and grandchildren. In fact, they multiplied so greatly that they became extremely powerful and filled the land. Eventually, a new king came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. He said to his people, "Look, the people of Israel now outnumber us and are stronger than we are. We must make a plan to keep them from growing even more. If we don't, and if war breaks out, they will join our enemies and fight against us. Then they will escape from the country." So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves. They appointed brutal slave drivers over them, hoping to wear them down with crushing labor. They forced them to build cities of Pithom and Ramses as supply centers for the king. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more the Israelites multiplied and spread, and the more alarmed the Egyptians became. So the Egyptians worked the people of Israel without mercy. They made their lives bitter, forcing them to mix mortar and make bricks and do all the work in the fields. They were ruthless in all their demands. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, gave this order to the Hebrew midwives: Shiphrah and Puah. When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live. Sebastian, hey, no, 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 come here. Can I have that toy, please? I'm going to take it away. Come here. I know you're just trying to be fun, but sometimes it's time to be serious. Let me see that toy. Let's put that right there, just for now. You can sit there and stare at it the whole time we're reading, okay? Thank you. All right. When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live. But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. They allowed the boys to live too. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives. "Why have you done this?" he demanded. "Why have you allowed the boys to live?" "The Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women," the midwives replied. "They are more vigorous and have their babies so quickly that we cannot get there in time." It makes me laugh. The Hebrew women just flinging out babies. Record time. So God was good to the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people: throw every newborn Hebrew boy into the Nile River, but you may let the girls live. The birth of Moses, Exodus 2 1 through 10. About this time, a man and a woman from the tribe of Levi got married. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was a special baby and kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she got a basket made of papyrus reeds and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. The baby's sister then stood at a distance, watching to see what would happen to him. Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and her attendants walked along the river bank. When the princess saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her maid to get it for her. When the princess opened it, she saw the baby. The little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This must be one of the Hebrew children," she said. Then the baby's sister approached the princess. "Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" she asked. "Yes, do," the princess replied. So the girl went and called the baby's mother. "Take this baby and nurse him for me," the princess told the baby's mother. "I will pay you for your help." So the woman took her baby home and nursed him. Later, when the boy was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. The princess named him Moses, for she explained, "I lifted him out of the water." I want you to stop and think about that for a moment. All right? Think about that. She went home and took the baby back to the mom. She took this baby and nursed him and cared for him, knowing the whole time she was going to have to give him up. Can you imagine the pain that she must have gone through, knowing that she was going to have to hand her baby over to Pharaoh's daughter? I mean, it's so short here. She brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. That's a big, think about that from your own perspective of your own children. I don't know. I don't know that I could have. Mom got paid to take care of her own baby, but knowing she was going to have to hand that baby over, that child, I just can't imagine. Moses escapes to Midian, Exodus 2 11 through 25. Moses was 40 years old when what follows took place. Many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his own people, the Hebrew, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw an Egyptian beating one of the fellow Hebrews. After looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. The next day, when Moses went out to visit his people again, he saw 2 Hebrew men fighting. "Why are you beating up your friend?" Moses said to the one who had started the fight. The man replied, "Who appointed you our prince and judge? Are you going to kill me as you killed that Egyptian yesterday?" Then Moses was afraid, thinking, "Everyone knows what I did." And sure enough, Pharaoh heard what had happened, and he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian. When Moses arrived in Midian, he sat down beside a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters who came as usual to draw water and fill the troughs for their father's flock. But some other shepherds came and chased them away. So Moses jumped up and rescued the girls from the shepherds. Then he drew water for their flocks. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked, "Why are you back so soon today?" "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds," they answered, "and then they drew water for us and watered our flocks." "Then where is he?" the father asked. "Why did you leave him there? Invite him to come and eat with us." Moses accepted the invitation, and he settled there with him. In time, Reuel gave Moses his daughter Zipporah to be his wife. Later, she gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, for he explained, "I have been a foreigner in a foreign land." Years passed, and the king of Egypt died. But the Israelites continued to groan under the burden of slavery. They cried out for help, and their cry rose up to God. God heard their groaning and remembered his covenant promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He looked down on the people of Israel and knew it was time to act. Moses' family tree, 1 Chronicles 6, 1 through 3a. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The descendants of Kohath included Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The daughters of Amram, or daughters, where did I get that? The children of Amram were Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. I think the sons of Levi would be good names for Kias. the Kia Gershon, the Kia Kohath, and the Kia Merari. Don't they sound like car names? Moses, the Merari really sounds like a good car name. Ooh, I'd like to have a Merari. Moses and the burning bush, Exodus 3, 1 through 22. The note says, at this time Moses was 80 years old. One day Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led the flock far into the wilderness and came to Sinai, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from the middle of a bush. Moses stared in amazement. Though the bush was engulfed in flames, it didn't burn up. This is amazing, Moses said to himself. Why isn't that bush burning up? I must go see it. When the Lord saw Moses coming to take a closer look, God called him from the middle of the bush. Moses, Moses. Here I am, Moses replied. Do not come any closer, the Lord warned. Take off your sandals, for you are standing on holy ground. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. When Moses heard this, he covered his face because he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord told him, I have certainly seen the oppression of my people in Egypt. I have heard the cries of distress because of their harsh slave drivers. Yes, I am aware of their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians and lead them out of Egypt into their own fertile and spacious land. It is a land flowing with milk and honey. The land where the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites now live. Look, the cry of the people of Israel has reached me, and I have seen how harshly the Egyptians abuse them. Now go, for I am sending you to Pharaoh. You must lead my people, Israel, out of Egypt. But Moses protested to God, Who am I to appear before Pharaoh? Who am I to lead the people of Israel out of Egypt? God answered, I will be with you, and this is your sign that I am the one who has sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God at this very mountain. But Moses protested, If I go to the people of Israel and tell them the God of your ancestors has sent me to you, they will ask me, What is his name? Then what should I tell them? God replied to Moses, I am who I am. Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say this to the people of Israel, Yahweh, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my eternal name, my name to remember for all generations. Now go and call together the elders of Israel. Tell them, Yahweh, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me. He told me, I have been watching closely, and I see how the Egyptians are treating you. I have promised to rescue you from your oppression in Egypt. I will lead you to a land flowing with milk and honey, the land where the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites now live. The elders of Israel will accept your message. Then you and the elders must go to the king of Egypt and tell him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. So please let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand forces him. So I will raise my hand and strike the Egyptians, performing all kinds of miracles among them. Then at last he will let you go, and I will cause the Egyptians to look favorably on you. They will give you gifts when you go, so you will not leave empty-handed. Every Israelite woman will ask for an article of silver and gold and fine clothing from her Egyptian neighbors and from the foreign women in their houses. You will dress your sons and daughters with these, stripping the Egyptians of their wealth. Signs of the Lord's power, Exodus 4, 1 through 17. But Moses protested again. What if they won't believe me or listen to me? What if they say, The Lord never appeared to you? Then the Lord asked him, What is that in your hand? A shepherd's staff, Moses replied. Throw it down to the ground, the Lord told him. So Moses threw down the staff and it turned into a snake. Moses jumped back. Then the Lord told him, Reach out and grab its tail. So Moses reached out and grabbed it and turned it back into the shepherd's staff in his hand. Perform this sign, the Lord told him. Then they will believe that the Lord, the God of their ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, really has appeared to you. Then the Lord said to Moses, Now put your hand inside your cloak. So Moses put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out again, his hand was as white as snow with severe skin disease. Now put your hand back into your cloak, the Lord said. So Moses put his hand back in, and when he took it out again, it was as healthy as the rest of his body. The Lord said to Moses, if they do not believe you and you are not convinced by the first miraculous sign, they will be convinced by the second sign. And if they don't believe you or listen to you even after these two signs, then take some water from the Nile River and pour it out on the dry ground. When you do, the water from the Nile will turn to blood on the ground. But Moses pleaded with the Lord, O Lord, I'm not very good with words. I never have been, and I'm not now, even though you have spoken to me. I am tongue-tied, and my words get tangled. Then the Lord asked Moses, who makes a person's mouth? Who decides whether people speak or do not speak, hear or do not hear, see or do not see? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say. But Moses again pleaded, Lord, please send anyone else. Then the Lord became angry with Moses. All right, he said, what about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he speaks well, and look, he is on his way to meet you now. He will be delighted to see you. Talk to him and put the words in his mouth. I will be with both of you as you speak, and I will instruct you both in what to do. Aaron will be your spokesman to the people. He will be your mouthpiece, and you will stand in the place of God for him, telling him what to say. And take your shepherd's staff with you and use it to perform the miraculous signs I have shown you. Okay. So, Sweet Renee reached out to me yesterday and let me know that I skipped a poem. I jumped ahead by mistake. And I'm glad she let me know because I tend to do that. So, yesterday I read page 47, By Faith the Battle is Over. But I skipped over page 46, Power in the Name. So I am going to read that one today. This poem titled Power in the Name. It says it's a song, actually, page 46. The chorus is, I believe there is power speaking the name, Jesus. I believe there is healing as close as his name, Jesus. I believe he's the one who died for me, Jesus. I believe he came to set me free, Jesus. I believe he delivers from sin, sickness, and poverty, Jesus. I believe he crucified these at Calvary, Jesus. I believe the Holy Ghost is the power to overcome and see you through, Jesus. I believe this power is given to the chosen few, Jesus. I believe his word is life to a heart that will see, Jesus. Jesus is the power that delivers and sets you free, Jesus. May 21st, 1982. All right. Let me go back through the chat now. Let me scroll up. Shelly, it's from so in order to play music on YouTube and Facebook, I have to download music from YouTube that has copyright freedom, I guess. They give you certain songs that they allow you to use for free. So it's a song I downloaded from there a long time ago. It is pretty, that piano music. I really love it. I look forward to it every morning when it starts playing. Oh, Meredith, that's true. That makes January much better. Daffodils bloom in February. That's right. All right, Mary, we are praying for Mary's family today. She lost a cousin very tragically yesterday, so we are absolutely praying for her and her family. And Pam says, please pray for my granddaughter, Ellie. She was in the ER most yesterday afternoon. Her G-tube has caused some major infection. Oh, and they had to replace it and have her on some major antibiotics. Then her mom has strep also. Oh, my goodness. Is Ellie's a strep infection? Praying for Jack, his brain tumor, 5-year-old Jack. So much hurt. Yeah, she did. She did have complete faith. I'm sure it was still very difficult to hand over her child. How hard that had to be. Jessica's looking at a house. All right, Melissa. All right, we are praying. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and join in prayer together. Father God, we're so thankful for this opportunity today to come to you, to bring our hearts to you, to ask for your grace, to ask for your mercy. And we're so grateful to serve a God that asks us to boldly approach his throne, that expects us to come to him with the desires of our heart, the concerns, and wants us to come to him for healing. And God, I thank you that that's the God we serve. God, I just pray for the many concerns on people's hearts today. There's so many. I pray for Mary. I pray for the Durant family after this tragic loss and the devastation that they are going through after losing both a young man and now a father, a cousin, an uncle. This just devastating loss to their family, God. And I just pray for your healing for them. I pray that through this difficult situation, you will be shown to them, that they will see you in this difficulty, that it will draw them closer to you, God. God, I also pray for little Ellie today and this infection that she's experiencing, and her mom and the strep infection. God, I just pray for your healing for both of them. Quick healing. I pray for complete healing of this infection. And I just pray for your comfort to surround them today. We also pray for little Jack and this growing tumor that he has. And I pray for his family, God, as they walk through such a difficult time with their little boy. And I just pray for your mercy there. And I pray for your healing touch for Jack. And I pray for your comfort for his family. God, we pray for Jessica as they look at this house today, that if this is the house that is meant for them, that you will make that clear to them and guide their footsteps today as they look at this house. God, we also pray for Melissa as she seeks out an oncologist. I just pray for your guidance there and your provision for her so that healing can begin for Melissa. God, I just thank you for all that you do for us. I thank you for your love. I thank you for the word every day that we read. And I thank you for opening our hearts to the message that you have for us. And I just pray that you will continue to help us grow closer to you as we read the word each day. God, I just pray for each woman here that you would help us all to be a picture of Christ wherever we go today. And no matter our circumstances, difficult or good today, I just pray that you will help us to remember you in all of it and help us to spread the light of you and be a picture of Christ wherever we go today. In your precious name I pray. Amen. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to go live this morning. I never got a chance to reach out to somebody to cook live in their kitchen. Honestly, I got super distracted yesterday. I forgot. But I'll try to do that for next week. Today, I have no idea what I'm going to make. The next couple of recipes in the cookbook are ones that, so there's one that is basic ingredients that really doesn't need to be replicated because it's literally the world's easiest recipe. And then there's one for pot roast, and pot roast is something very different that isn't really a stovetop recipe ever. I think the next one after that is lemon herb drummies. So maybe we could make some lemon herb chicken this morning on the stovetop. I'll figure it out, and I will be live shortly. And I hope that you'll join me. It'll probably be a half hour or so. I hope that you'll join me for breakfast, And if not, I'll see you back tomorrow for more devotions. Love you guys. Thanks for joining.